So you want to make some passive income. What better way than have companies pay you dividends every single month? But you don't know which company or ETF to choose because there are so many. Well, you came to the right video. In today's video, I'm going to break down the best dividend ETFs to consider in 2026. I'll show you how much each one is paying. I'll show you the pros and cons of each one, and I'll show you which ones I think will make the most sense for long-term investors versus people who just want to make the most amount of money through cash flow every single month. Make sure to stick around to the end because I'll be sharing the one dividend ETF out of this entire list that I'm personally choosing and putting my own money into. But before we get into it, I want to clear up one of the biggest mistakes people make when picking dividend ETFs. You see, not all dividend ETFs are built the same, and that matters because when you buy an ETF, you're not just picking one dividend paying company. You're buying a basket of companies inside one major fund. And that can be a lot better than just trying to pick one individual stock yourself because you get more diversification. But it also means you need to understand what kind of basket you're actually buying, because there are three main types of dividend ETFs you need to know. The first type is a high dividend yield ETF. These funds focus on companies that pay higher dividends today. They can be good for investors who want more income now, but they might not always have the strongest long-term returns on that ETF. The second type is a dividend growth ETF. These funds may not have the highest yield right now, but they focus on companies that have a history of growing their dividends over time. And the third type is an equity income ETF. These funds can pay very high dividend yields, but they are not the same as traditional dividend ETFs. They often use a different, riskier strategy to generate income, which can be good and also be bad at the same time. Knowing these different types of ETFs matter because if you compare two ETFs and only look at how much they pay, one might look way better than the other, but if one ETF is paying dividends from traditional dividend paying companies and another is generating income through, let's say, option strategy, those are two very different things. Okay, now that you know that, let's get into this list. Coming in at number one is SCHD, Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity ETF, which currently pays around a 3.3% dividend yield. This fund was launched by Schwab in 2011 and has become one of the most popular dividend ETFs on the market today. SCHD mainly focuses on U.S. companies with a history of paying dividends, but what makes this different is that it doesn't just chase the companies with the highest dividend yield. It also screens each company for quality by looking for companies with strong fundamentals, consistent dividend payments, and solid financials. Think of companies like Texas Instruments, Chevron, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and even Verizon. These are established businesses built more around profitability and shareholder returns than just pure growth. It's not trying to be the highest paying ETF out there, and it's not also trying to find the best companies out there so you can get a good upside return. Instead, it's designed to give you exposure to strong dividend paying companies at a very low cost. But the trade-off to this is SCHD can underperform when growth stocks are doing really well in the market. So if tech and high growth companies are doing really well and the markets are going up, SCHD may not keep up with it. It is also a lot more concentrated on a few major companies than other ETFs. So if a few of the major companies struggle, the fund or the ETF can feel it a lot. The expense ratio is around 0.06%, which is extremely low. And in my opinion, SCHD is the best all-around dividend ETFs for most long-term investors. All right, coming in at number two is VYM, Vanguard High Dividend Yield ETF, which currently is paying around a 2.2% dividend yield. This ETF was launched by Vanguard in 2006, and it focuses on large U.S. companies that pay above average dividends. So think of companies like JPMorgan, ExxonMobil, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, Home Depot, established businesses that return cash to shareholders and have a long history of operating through multiple different market cycles. Compared to SCHD, VYM is a lot more broader and more diversified, and this is the biggest difference between the two. And that spread out or the broader structure can make the fund feel a lot more stable because you're not just relying on a bunch of smaller group companies like you are in SCHD. The expense ratio is around 0.04%, which is even cheaper than SCHD, and in my opinion, VYM is a great option for investors who want simple, diversified, and a low-cost dividend exposure. All right, coming in at number three is JEPI, JEPI, the JPMorgan Equity Premium Income ETF. This fund was launched by JPMorgan in 2020 and has become one of the most popular income ETFs in the space because of how much it pays. But you have to understand, JEPI is very different from traditional ETFs like SCHD. SCHD or VYM. Those funds mainly focus on dividend-paying stocks. JEPI owns stocks as well, but it also uses an equity premium income strategy to increase its high dividend yields, which means it uses options-related strategies to generate its income. JEPI's dividend yield is around 8.45%, which is very high compared to most traditional ETFs, and this is exactly why it gets so much attention. Investors see that monthly income and the higher yield, and it immediately looks a lot more attractive than something like SCHD or VYM. But this is also where a lot of investors make this mistake. They compare JEPI directly to SCHD and assume JEPI is automatically better because it pays more dividend. But you have to realize these funds are not doing the same job. SCHD is a more traditional dividend quality ETF, while JEPI is an income strategy that uses options to help create a higher monthly payout. The biggest trade-off with JEPI is that even though you can make a lot of money from the dividend yield, you won't be able to get a lot of the growth that comes with the market. For example, over the past year, JEPI has been almost pretty much flat, I think like down 0.18%, while SCHD has been up a lot more. Now, that does not mean JEPI is bad, it just shows a difference in its strategy. You can make a lot more with their strategy, but your growth is going to be limited. The expense ratio is around 0.35%, which is a lot higher than the other ETFs we covered, but it's still reasonable for a more active income style that it offers. In my opinion, JEPI is one of the best ETFs for investors who want to make the most amount of money from dividend income. All right, coming in at number 4 is JEPQ, JPMorgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF. This ETF was launched by JPMorgan in 2022 and is very similar to JEPI, but with a more Nasdaq focus. That means it has more exposure to growth in technology companies while still using that equity income strategy to generate a high dividend yield. You can think of JEPQ like a more aggressive version of JEPI with a dividend yield of around 11.98%, which is huge. On paper, it sounds like the best of both worlds. You get monthly income, a higher yield, and exposure to growth-oriented companies. For investors who want cash flow but still want exposure to the tech and growth side of the market, JEPQ is the way to go. But remember, exciting does not always mean safest. JEPQ is not a traditional dividend ETF like I mentioned. It uses that income strategy built around growth-heavy markets. And that can work really well in certain environments like we're seeing right now where tech companies and AI companies are doing really well. But there are time periods where those type of companies are not doing the best. Now, to be fair, like I said, right now the strategy has been working really well. JEPQ pays a high dividend yield and is also up around 16% over the past year, which is extremely impressive for an income-focused ETF. But again, that does not mean you or investors should ignore the risk. The expense ratio is around 0.35%, which is similar to JEPI. It can make sense for certain people who want that aggressive monthly income while also getting exposure to growth style companies, but I would treat this more like an income tool, not a replacement from a traditional dividend growth ETF. Finally, coming in at number 5 is DGRO, iShares Core Dividend Growth ETF. This fund was launched by BlackRock in 2014 and focuses on companies that have a high history of growing their dividends over time. This is very different from just buying high dividend growth stocks. DGRO is not trying to give you the biggest dividend check today. It's trying to own companies that can keep increasing their dividends in the future. Think of companies like Microsoft, JPMorgan, Apple, Exxon, Mobil, Johnson & Johnson. These are strong businesses that may not have the highest dividend yields, but they have the ability of growing their dividend payouts over time. DGRO currently pays around a 2% dividend yield, which is why some investors usually overlook it. And compared to the ETFs that we talked about earlier, that yield may not seem very exciting, but again, that misses the point of this ETF. DGRO is built more for dividend growth rather than current dividend income. But the trade-off is that DGRO may not be the best fit for investors who need income today. So if you're retired or you rely on your portfolio for cash flow, the yield may feel very low compared to something like SCHD, VYM, or even some of those higher income funds I talked about. But for long-term investors, the goal is not just asking how much does this pay me today, it's also asking the question, can this income keep growing over time and also be inflated? inflation for me. Expense ratio is around 0.08, which is extremely cheap. And like I said, it's going to be best for investors who care more about the growing income aspect rather than maximizing how much money they make today. So now that we've gone through the top dividend ETFs of 2026, the big question is which one is the best all-around option for 2026? And the best one I'm choosing is SCHD. Not because it is perfect, not because I will always have the highest return, but because it gives you one of the best combinations of simplicity, quality, high yield, low fees, and investor understanding. And that last part matters. The best ETF is not always the one with the highest yield like JEPQ that plays close to 12%. The best ETF is the one you can actually understand well enough to keep holding while the market gets rough if it does. But again, each fund has a different purpose. VYM is best for broad, low-cost dividend exposure. DGRO is best for investors who want dividend growth and long-term compounding. And JEPI and JEPQ is best for investors who want higher monthly income with more growth-style exposure. So next time, don't just ask which ETF pays the most, ask which ETF actually fits my investing strategy or goal. If you want some free stocks, I'll put the links to the brokerage I use down below that are also giving away some free stocks to people who sign up. So make sure you guys check them out down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more money in investing breakdowns like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.